I acknowledge and pay my respects to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people, past, present and emerging, and to any First Nations people within our conference listening to this presentation today. I'm talking to you on the unceded lands of Darumbal Country, Central Queensland, Australia. Hello, my name is Alys Mendus, and I'm here to present my work, I Have a Bag of Old Knickers. Do you? I am a member of the Bodies Collective, an international group of early career researchers researching the body and its affects within qualitative research space, aware of how the body matters as matter. The Bodies Collective is currently writing its first book for Routledge, and an exploration of the undressed body from today's presentation makes up my chapter. I also have a paper coming out next year in Arts Research International on my audio-found poetry methodology. Last year, 2021, I gathered audio stories from 14 participants from around the world and myself talking about underwear. From these audio stories, I created 2 audio-found poems, which I'm going to share with you all today. Audio-found poem 1, General Underwear, and audio-found poem 2 is Dress Code Red. Audio-found poetry is an audio rather than written response to creating found poetry from a data set, using not just the words, but listening for the poetic, from Penwarden and Shun, the voice of the participants to create a new audio poem. This work is also inspired by Karen Werner's work on radio autoethnography. So, in the film, I stand up with my washing line and my bag of old knickers down by the dam on the property where I live in Darumbal Country, Australia. Before I hang up my laundry, let my knickers flutter in the conference space, I shall remind you all of Watt's words. Every morning when you put your knickers on, or don't, you interact with hundreds of years of ideas and cultural debate by slipping your limbs into a small piece of cloth. So, let's listen to these 2 recordings about that small piece of cloth, about the agency of an often silent small. Underwear.
Underwäsche.
Sporty pants. Bed pants, just right, pants.
It's got to be big. It's got to cover everything. It's got to feel like it's not there, but when the wind blows or when one accidentally bends down, it needs to be totally, solidly, unabashedly present.
I just want a pair of underwear, or knickers as the Brits call them.
Y-front jocks.
I wear boxer shorts.
I tried boxer shorts, but they always just rode up, gave me a wedgie, so I was stuck with Y-fronts.
Boxer shorts are sold in the men's clothing department. And so when I go and buy them, usually a crowd of shop assistants will appear and they'll ask me, who are these for?
It's got to be firm, solid, firm, sturdy.
They are excessively robust.
Have empowerment pants written across the top.
2, cover the crotch. Cover my lower abdomen. I want to feel nicely tucked in there, you know?
Today I'm wearing sporty pants. If I'm wearing leggings, I need sporty pants underneath. My sporty pants are sweat wicking and leave no visible line.
And I certainly do not need a thong.
I normally wear strings on an everyday basis because they just didn't show through. I actually quite like them. They felt they're the most comfortable.
Don't want any jiggles. The thing I fear most is jiggling in meetings.
And that's how I'd met him and his wife, for a pair of pants that said "bite me" on the bottom.
All this thinking about pants has drawn my attention to a beautiful pair of pants that lie in the bottom of my underwear drawer, smothered by sporty pants, emergency/bed pants, and my usual everyday, just right, pants.
I also have a few pairs of, just panties, and I'll put those on if I have a doctor's appointment or something along those lines where I might have to take my trousers off to be examined.
Think, oh my goodness. When I was knocked down when I was 12, always wear clean underwear. They're all a bit old and tatty. I remember afterwards realising that they'd had to cut my underwear off.
The 2 old people were sitting quietly up against the wall in a corner of the caring home. Holding hands, they seemed to breathe together in one gentle breath of love. Motionless for a long time, a sudden event disrupted the idyll. She wet herself. Helpers coming to get her clean underwear. The old couple had to untie their hands, and she was taken away.
No time for skimpy, uncomfortable knickers when you're, got a torn vagina and everything's sore.
Fields was one of those super cheap stores where you could find the most bizarre items at weirdly low prices. They had this bulk bin of $1 underwear, and I usually bought 12 pairs in a go. 12 pairs, $12. Seemed fair. And if I soiled them, I could happily throw them away, knowing that they served their purpose well.
As you'll be messaging me, I've been sitting in my little cabin trying to work out a pattern for some comfortable underwear.
Stitch in hand, I've been trying to keep these bad boys from fully leaving me in the commando zone. I've taken to mending my underwear that I still have. Let's just say, it's desperate times.
One of the things I struggle with is actually getting rid of old underwear.
And I threw them all out, and it was so liberating to be able to do that.
It seems to have a very personal connection with me, which probably isn't surprising as we wear it on such intimate parts of our body and on parts of our body that it's traditional for us to keep covered.
In my bag of underwear, I have the big beige granny pants that my mum sent me when I was pregnant. But wow, were they practical, especially after a C-section. Came up nice and high and comfy over your waist.
Post-birth, obviously, you just need to be comfy. I always give my friends who've just had a baby a pack of granny knickers that come right up above your belly. And I think in the end of all of my pregnancies, I couldn't bear to wear any underwear.
I don't wear them, and I haven't for a long time now.
Which has continued.
My underwear wasn't serving any purpose.
A pair of knickers would just hinder my comfort. I've realised that underwear is not essential.
So I stopped wearing underwear.
I'm just going to wear what I like, and I'm not going to worry too much about what other people think, because quite frankly, life's too short to spend worrying about other people.
It was white underwear. He started to laugh and cry out, "Dress code red! Dress code red!"
Just remembering the marathon preparations it would be to get ready to go out clubbing for the night, and things that I'd be constantly factoring into my preparations around what to wear, how I wanted to look.
He couldn't get out of his fuzzy mind the images of red fabric in her underwear.
And even to some degree, I would be preparing for the end of the night. It was often a goal was to meet someone and to have a sexual experience. And my underwear would be a big part of that. It would shape, that would be, that intention would really shape my choices around what underwear I'd wear.
And each one of those people, I bought different underwear for them.
With the goal of benefiting the person that I chose to be with.
She was still sexy as an old woman and wild.
If I was lucky enough to make it with a woman, I would always try and take off my pants and underpants at the same time because I was embarrassed by them.
What kind of underwear they wear and how it gives them confidence and how it gives them this feeling of being sensual and powerful and connected to their sexuality. And part of me just was sort of musing on this and wondering where that comes from.
They are lacy pants.
I don't need lace, though I probably shouldn't admit that.
They are an exotic colour, coral no less. They are unworn and still have the label attached. They look as if they will be hideously uncomfortable and not stay quite where I'd like them to. Bought in a moment when I imagined myself a different kind of pant wearer.
Have I been taught that lacy underwear underneath my clothes makes me feel more sexual, more powerful, And is that where my feelings coming from, or is it actually my feelings? Like, is it really how I feel?
Unterwäsche. Wenn drüber geredet wird, dann ist es meistens Sch. Dreckige Wäsche wird gewaschen. Auch sie wird irgendwann zu Asche.
I feel as a woman under a great deal of pressure to dress for men in terms of my underwear, so like stockings, suspender belts, all of that kind of thing. And, you know, I told myself for a long time, oh, it's all about empowerment, it's all about what I want to wear. But it isn't, is it? Because it's really uncomfortable.
I wonder how much power I gave away in thinking about the other person and how they would think of me and what their judgment would be, and how that would determine my level of comfort in what I choose to wear and what I chose to buy.
What do I like?
I don't really like white knickers.
Life is too short for white underwear, she used to say firmly, insulted by the very thought of having to wear a pair of plain white knickers. Had the bloody Alzheimer not blurred his mind, he could have explained that she wanted red underwear rather than just shouting, dress code red.
Even if nobody was going to see it, my main objective was to look nice in my underwear.
It felt funny being gifted underwear from a mate, and on top of that then wearing the Union Jack around my bum.
And I still do want to look nice in my underwear, but the main thing is that it's comfortable.
But it's all about comfort. That's what it comes down to. If it's comfortable, it's probably also going to look good.
Like, is it a real thing? Is this the style of our underwear, the fabric of our underwear? Does it really give us those feelings, or are we taught to feel that way from the cradle?
And it scares me about how gendered and how sexy pants are for 2-year-olds. Disturbing. I chose some ones from the boys' range because they didn't have frills that were going to dig into her thighs, and they actually had patterns and prints that she liked.
Like, I brought up in this culture, brought up in this society that values material possessions, and inundated with advertising material from such a young age.
I've always had a thing for nipple tassels, although I'm not sure if they count really as underwear. I graduated in a pair of nipple tassels underneath my dress and my bra and my gown. I walked across that stage getting that PhD. Slight little fuck you to the academy. We can put a smart dress on, put your suit on. But what are you wearing underneath? Does anyone know? Does it matter? Who do you dress for? These silent, secret, small.
So that's my brief description of my feelings towards underwear.